Hello.
Hello, hello.
Oh, yeah.
How's it? Hello, hello.
Use your earphones.
Hi, it's fine, sir. Your friends. There is no disturbance, no, sir. Yes.
Hello.
Hello. How's it?
Anything you want to say? Text your text message because I don't know why whether you're using earphones or not. A lot of background noise is coming. So what is that? We have just introduced inheritance, right, in the previous class. How to create a subclass and all.
Hello.
Hello.
Ha, sir. We had gone through the basic concept of inheritance and we had wrote a basic program, how inheritance works in that.
Okay, so this is the class I think we have a slightly a bit different program. Class A is defined with two instance variables AB, two methods read AB and display AB methods. Read AB method will read the values of A and B through the parameters x and y. Display AB method will just display the values of A and B. Then I'm creating another class which extends A, so which means that B is subclass for A. Okay. Then this B has instance variable C which is exclusive to B. Apart from this C, it will also have instance variables A, B also. So let me mention here. Additionally, A comma B be inherited from class A. Okay. So totally, how many instance variables will be there in B? A, B, and C. Now here we are creating another method called read ABC. So this method, what is it going to do? It is going to initialize all the three instance variables A, B, and C in the class B itself. Okay. So A is assigned X, B is assigned Y, C is assigned Z. So X, Y, Z are the parameters passed to the read ABC method. And display ABC method will simply display all the ABC values. Then I am defining inherit class in which main method is defined. So in the main method, objects are created for both class A and class B. Okay. So this is a superclass object. Object obj1 is a superclass object. Obj2 is a subclass object. What is superclass A and what is subclass B? Okay. Now I can call read AB method and display AB method, which are in superclass. So it is mentioned in the comments here. Superclass method called with its object. Superclass method is called with the superclass object. Right. So both read AB and display AB methods are called. Then using object 2, which is a subclass object, also we are trying to call superclass method with subclass object. Okay. Using same obj2, you are also calling display AB. So superclass method called with subclass object. Then object 2, you are calling a display ABC. So subclass method called with subclass object. Obj2 calling read ABC. Subclass method called with subclass object. Then obj2 called with display ABC. Right? Subclass method called with subclass object. So notice what you are doing with when you call superclass method read AB with object 1, which is nothing but a superclass object, you are passing 10 and 20, right? And when you call display AB, it will display values as 10 and 20. Then later you are creating object of subclass. Then using that you are calling read AB and passing 30, 40. And when you call display AB, it will display 30, 40. Then later you are calling display ABC, right? So when you call display ABC, what will happen? Will it display value of C? It will not display value of C because you are only calling read ABC method of superclass. You are not calling read ABC method of subclass. So if you call read ABC method, then all the three instance variables A, B, C will be initialized. But you just made a call to only read AB method. So this will initialize only A and B. C will not be initialized, right? So when you call display ABC, C value will be 0, A value will be 30, B value will be 40, and C value will be 0. But then later you are calling read ABC method again and passing 10, 20, 30. So this will modify A, B values from 30 to 40 to 10, 20, and C also will be modified from 0 to 30. So after that you call display ABC, then it will display 10, 20, 30. First, you are calling read AB method and display AB method using superclass object obj1. So it is displaying 1020. Then using subclass object, you are calling read ABC and display ABC. So this is initializing only AB values. So when you call it display AB, it will display only 3040 for AB. Later, using object 2, you are calling display ABC method. So when ABC method is called, it will display all the three variables A, B, C values. A value is 30, B value is 40, but C we didn't initialize it, so it will display as 0. Then later we are calling read ABC method, which will initialize C also. So it is now initializing A with 10. Earlier it was 30, now it is modified to 10. B is modified to 20 from 40, and C is modified from 0 to 30. Right. So that is how you have to use superclass and subclass objects. When you create a object for a superclass, A is a superclass, right? So you can only call read AB and display AB methods, and you can only access A and B values from outside the
Sir,
class.
sir,
Yeah.
sir, I had a doubt. You had previously mentioned like we cannot use subclass objects to call the superclass object, no sir.
Su-
L- One.
Superclass object cannot be used to refer to subclass, not subclass to superclass.
Okay, from subclass to superclass we can use the object. Like my doubt is this one, sir. Obj2 dot read AB is there, no sir. In
Yeah,
down.
you
Am
can
I
do
correct?
that. Yeah, you can do
Okay.
that. See, using obj2 because it is a
Uh-huh.
object of subclass, you can
Hmm.
you can access all the members of class B as well as class A.
Okay.
But when you create an object for class A, you can only access members of class A. You cannot access members of class B.
So once can you show the example, like printing that also?
Yeah. So we have already created object one, right, for class A. So using object one of class A, we are only calling read AB and display AB methods, right? So these two methods are defined in class A only; they are not defined in class B. So that is the reason why you were able to access these methods. But if I now try to call obj1 dot read ABC, say 10, 20, 30 like this, so this will generate an error. Obj1 dot ABC. Both these statements will cause error. Look at the error. Line number 37 cannot find symbol. What is that? Read ABC method. It is called with superclass object obj1, right? Similarly, when you call display ABC also you're getting error. So using obj1 you are calling. So what?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Superclass object can be used to access only class members. Class object can be used to access both superclass as well subclass members. Okay? So this is fundamentally inheriting members of one class to another class, and we can name this as a simple or single inheritance because there is only one class A and which is superclass, and there is only one subclass. So in the previous day, I was telling you different types of inheritance that we can implement in Java. That is single inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hybrid inheritance, right? So these are the only four types of inheritance that we can implement in Java. We cannot implement multiple inheritance. Actually, there is another inheritance called multiple inheritance, but that is not supported in Java. Okay, so we can only have four forms of inheritance in Java. One is single that we have already seen just now. The next one is hierarchical inheritance, then multi-level, and this hybrid. And this hybrid has some limitations. You cannot, because hybrid inheritance is a combination of other three forms of inheritance, either single and hierarchical and multi-level. So you can combine both two or three inheritance together to get a hybrid inheritance. But when you do so, you should not include multiple inheritance in hybrid inheritance. Means you can take combine hierarchical, multi-level, single hierarchical, or all three multi-level, hierarchical and single, or multi-level and single. You can combine. But multiple should not be involved in any way because Java does not support multiple inheritance. Single inheritance means what? There will be only one superclass and one subclass. Coming to hierarchical, one superclass only will be there, but many subclasses will be there. Or multiple I'll use instead of saying many classes. Multi-level, one subclass per class per another subclass. So this will be a concept under multi-level inheritance. A combination of different forms. So these are various types of inheritances. So we have already seen how to use single inheritance. So now let us see hierarchical. What do you mean by hierarchical? There will be one class, and that one class will have multiple subclasses. Say there is a class A, then this may have subclass B. So this was single inheritance, right, earlier. So now for the same A class A, I can have another subclass C, right? Then for same class A, I can have another subclass B also. So in that way, a class can have any number of subclasses. Earlier in this program, there is only one subclass for class A, that is B, right? So now you can have more than one subclass for class A. So here in all these cases, what is the superclass A? So it is only one. There is only one superclass, but how many subclasses are there? Multiple subclasses are there, B, C, D. So that is what the meaning of from one superclass, but multiple subclasses. Okay, so simple. You can do it in a simple way. You can define class, say X. Because already we have taken class A and class B. So this time I'm taking class X. Here I'll display and create an instance variable X. Only one variable I'm taking. Then uh, reading only one instance variable is equal to A. Same display method. displaying X value. So just copy, paste, and make some changes to the next class. So this time I'll make this as Y and extend X. This I'll make it as Y. This as read X. This as read Y. So one subclass is created. Now we need to create one more subclass. This time I'll make this as Z. Hence, this also extends the same class X. Instance variable, this one I'll make it as Z. So totally we have created three classes. One is class X, then class Y, and class Z. Class Y is extending same X. Class Z is also extending same X. So now class Y will have both uh, X as well as Y as instance variables. So let me put here. Additionally, will be inherited as X. Right? This one I'll make this as Z. Display Z. This one display Y. We'll save this program as hierarchical dot Java. Okay. So same thing will happen even for class Z also. Along with Z, it will also have additionally X variable. Similarly, methods into methods also. Additionally, read X and display X will be inherited from class X. The same happens even for class Z also. Additionally, read X and display X will be inherited from class X. So both class Y and class Z are inheriting members from their superclass X. Now let me create the class hierarchical. So here I am going to create the in method. So here I can create objects for superclass X and both subclasses Y and Z. So I'm creating say X1. So this is superclass object. Similarly, I'll create y1 new this first subclass z z1 equal to new this second subclass object. Now, using X, what are the members that I can access? Because X is a superclass, and superclass contains one instance variable X and two methods read X and display X. So you can only access only these three members, one instance variable and two methods. That's it. Okay. And using an object for class Y, that is first subclass object, I can access this instance variable Y, and additionally along with that we can access instance variable X also from class X, because class X is superclass. So automatically all the members of class X will also become members of class Y. So what are the members of class X? X, read X and display X. So they also will become members of class Y. So totally altogether class Y will have two instance variables X and Y, and four methods read X, read Y, display X and display Y. Right? Altogether six members will be there, four methods and two instance variables. Similarly, coming to Z also, this will have additionally along with Z, it will also have instance variable X from class X, because class X is superclass for Z. So what does that mean? All the members of class X, that is including instance variable X and read X and display X methods, this class will have another instance variable Z, and also additionally read Z and display Z methods. So altogether this class Z will have six members, two instance variables, one is X and the other one is Z, and four methods read Z, display Z, read X and display X. So you know what you can access and what you cannot access with superclass object. So using superclass object of x1, I can only call readx method and pass a value for this, say 10. Then I can only call x1 dot display, right? So I can do this only with superclass object. And coming to using y1, I can call readx. I'll pass 15. Then I can also call using y1 read y, and pass 20 to this. Then I can call y1 dot display x as well as y1 dot display y, right? So this is what I can do with subclass y1, and same is the case with subclass z. I'll give a one line break so that superclass and subclass objects are separated, statements are separated. So here I'll make this as z. Right? So here comment using first subclass object is using second subclass object. access the class object. Fine. Index. Display X. Okay. So y is 0, z is 0, z is 0. Why this is displaying 0, 0, 0? Because we are not calling read z. This one, I'll make this as read z. Instead of 15, I'll use 25. This here, I'll use 30. This one, display X. Y. So this X is 10 is displayed using what? Superclass object. X is 15 is displayed using subclass Y object. And Y is 20 displayed using subclass Y. And this X is 25 displayed using subclass Z. And Z is 30 displayed using subclass Z object. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So this is hierarchical inheritance. Now let us see multi-level inheritance. This one was hierarchical inheritance. Let me remove all these things. So what is multi-level inheritance? Class A will have, say for example, subclass B. Okay? Then class B in turn will have subclass C. And class C again may have subclass B. Right? So in that way, one class has a subclass B, and again this subclass B has this also has another subclass C, and in turn C will have a subclass D. This will form the multi-level inheritance. What is the difference between hierarchical inheritance and multi-level inheritance? All these three subclasses were earlier subclasses for only one class, that is A. But now B is a subclass for A and C is subclass for B and D is subclass for C. It is like a chain reaction, chain cell, right? So two people, three or more people holding their hands together, that will form a chain. In that way, A is a superclass for B, and again B is in turn a superclass for C. Again, C is in turn a superclass for D. In that way, you can extend it to any level. So this is called as multi-level inheritance. So now here I'll use class P here. So I'll define say int P here. Same read P equal to A. And this will be the audio. Now Q extends it. So next I have to create class R extends. I'm not going to more levels because I need to create more number of objects and program will become complex. So I'm going only up to two levels, three levels: P, under P, Q, and under Q again R. So here I'm going to define instance variable Q, and this one has read Q, one has display Q, one has display P. One R, read R, R. This must be Q, Q here. This must be R from here. So now, because Q is extending P, so additionally P will be inherited from class P, right? And methods additionally read P, display P, will be inherited from class P, right? So now Q will have two instance variables P and Q, along with Q, which is exclusive member of Q. So P will also be inherited from class P. And apart from read Q and display Q methods, this will also have read P and display P methods from class P, right? Then when I extend R with one say Q, so now because Q is in turn a subclass for P, so Q will have four different members, right? So when you inherit R from Q, this additionally will have P and Q inherited from, right? Similarly, coming to methods, additionally read P, read Q, display P, display Q will be inherited from class Q, right? So altogether, how many methods will be there in class Q? It will have totally six methods: read P, read Q, display P, display Q, uh, read R, display R. Read R and display are exclusive members to class Q. Apart from these two methods, it will also inherit read P, read Q, display P, and display Q. Four methods. Totally 4 plus 2, 6 methods. And coming to instance variables, apart from instance variable R, it will also inherit P and Q from class Q. So all these are inherited from class Q. They are not inherited from class P, right? So P class has one instance variables and two methods. Q class has two instance variables and four methods, where R class will have three instance variables and six methods, right? So now, if you create a class multi-level contains the main method, now I'll create objects for all the three classes. Class P, P1 is equal to new. Similarly for class Q, U1, class R, R1. Now using P, I can access only using P's object. So I can only call what that's P1 dot read P pass, and then I can call P1 dot display P. So this is using P's object. Now I'll use Q's object. So using Q's object, you can call read P, display P. So here I'll give of 10, 20. So let me give 10 only. And along with that, I can also call read Q. I'm passing 20 using Q1. I can also call Q. Next, I'll use R's object now. I'll create R's object. So using R's object, so this may be like R1, R1. So I can call read P, read display P as well as read Q, display Q. Copy these methods also. R. I'm calling read P, read Q, display Q, which are members of its superclass. Now we can also call members of the subclass which are exclusive to the subclass. So what are those methods? Read R, AR. For reader, I'm passing say 30. Right? We compile it. So P is displayed using superclass P's object. Then again P and Q are displayed using subclass Q object. Right? Then again P, Q are all the three are displayed using subclass R object. Right? So I'm giving same values for P in all the three cases 10, 10, here also 10. And Q also same value for Q's object as well as R's object 20, 20. Then R will be there only for class R, right? So this is displayed only once, that is 30. So P is displayed three times because P will be there in class P and it will also be there in class Q and class R also. So that's why three times it is displayed. But coming to Q, Q is not there in class P. So it will be displayed when uh, using class Q object once, and it will be displayed second time using class R object. And coming to R, R is not there in both P and Q, it is there only in R. So it will be displayed only once. Okay. So this is multi-level inheritance. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Now, what is remaining? Hybrid inheritance. So coming to hybrid inheritance. So hybrid inheritance is combination of any other two or more inheritance forms of inheritance, right? So let us combine single and hierarchical inheritance, because if you combine hierarchical and multi-level or uh, any other inheritance, you will come across multiple inheritance. First, before that, let me tell you what is multiple inheritance, which is not supported in Java. So multiple inheritance is uh, will be class A and class B, right? And class A will be superclass for C. Class B also will be superclass for C. That means the same class C is having two superclasses. One is A and one is B, right? So this is called as multiple inheritance, and this multiple inheritance is not supported in Java, right? So when multiple inheritance is not supported, when you have say a hybrid inheritance, say for example A is superclass for say B, and then uh, B is superclass for C as well as B is superclass for D. What is the meaning of this one? You have A having a subclass for B, so this will form a single inheritance. Now again B is having two subclasses, C and D. So these two will form what? Hierarchical inheritance. One superclass and two more than one subclass. So this will form hierarchical inheritance. So this, when you consider these two, we have hierarchical inheritance, and when we consider only these two, we have only single inheritance. So altogether, you have combination of single inheritance and hierarchical inheritance. So this can be one type of hybrid inheritance. So in another case, say if A is having subclass B, right, or let us have a hierarchical inheritance like this, and A is also having subclass C. Now, if you create a for B subclass, so now what will happen? This both will form hierarchical inheritance, and this will form single inheritance, right? And when you combine these two,
Sir, hello. Sir. My query is that A to B is a single no, sir.
yeah,
And the B consists of A elements also, no, sir. Suppose like read A, display A consisting A, read B, display B consisting B.
yeah,
Hello. And if we use like B to D, the D can also have access for read A and display A also, no, sir.
yes, obviously.
In that case, it may not be a single no, sir. Like B to D, you stated like single no.
This is hierarchical inheritance, and this is single inheritance. These two will form hierarchical inheritance, and this will form single inheritance. And when we combine both of them, what will happen? It will have both hierarchical inheritance as well as multi-level inheritance and single inheritance.
అంటే మనం ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ యూజ్ చేస్తాం కదా సార్ అంటే నా డౌట్ ఏంటంటే ఏ ఆబ్జెక్ట్స్ బిలో కూడా బిలో నుంచి డి కూడా వెళ్తాయి కదా సార్
Yeah, B నుంచి D కి వెళ్తే అది మల్టీ లెవెల్ ఇన్హెరిటెన్స్ అవుతుంది కదా. A is having a subclass B, and again B in turn has a subclass D. What does it become? It becomes multi-level inheritance, right? Right?
ఇది సింగిల్ లెవెల్ ఇన్హెరిటెన్స్ అవ్వదు కదా సార్ ఇది బి టు డి సింగిల్ లెవెల్ ఇన్హెరిటెన్స్ అవ్వదు కదా అప్పుడు అంటున్నా
when you consider exclusively only these two, that will form a single inheritance. But when we consider entire all the three classes together, then this will form multi-level inheritance. And when you consider only these two, this will form what? Hierarchical inheritance, right? So they will form hierarchical inheritance. Only these two, if you consider, you will get single inheritance. When you consider all the three together, you will have all single inheritance, hierarchical inheritance, as well as multi-level inheritance. All three inheritances will be included here.
Okay, sir.
So in the hybrid is nothing but combining all the other inheritances together, one or more inheritance, two or more inheritances. Here we have combined single inheritance and what is this one? Hierarchical inheritance together.
Hierarchical inheritance.
And here we have combined single, hierarchical as well as multi-level. So this will become another kind of hybrid inheritance. So in this way, you can combine any form, but you must ensure that there is no there is no class which is inheriting from two different classes. You see that, for example, B is inheriting from A.
A.
Is B inheriting from any other class?
No.
There is no second superclass for B. So we should ensure that one class has only one superclass. There cannot be multiple superclasses for a single class in Java, right? So B is having only one superclass. And coming to C, is C having more than one superclass? C is having one superclass A. Is it having any other superclasses? There is no other superclass, right? Similarly, coming to D also, D is having only one superclass, that is B. D is not having any other superclass, right? So a class cannot have more than one superclass. That is the condition in Java. So without having multiple superclasses for a single class, you can combine any type of inheritances in your program, right? Even here also, B is having a superclass A. Is B having any other superclass? There is no other superclass. Similarly, C also, C is having one superclass B. Is C having any other superclass?
No.
No. Now here D, is D having any other superclass? It is having only B. Is it having
Mm.
any other superclass? No. So only one point you must remember: Java will not support more than one superclass for a class. You can have more than one subclass, but you cannot have more than one superclass for a
Okay, sir.
single class. ఒక క్లాస్ ఒక క్లాస్ కి ఇద్దరు పేరెంట్స్ ఉండకూడదు, ఓన్లీ వన్ పేరెంట్ ఉండాలి.
Hmm.
సో దట్ ఈస్ ద కాన్సెప్ట్ ఇన్ జావా. బట్ వన్ పేరెంట్ కెన్ హ్యావ్ మోర్ దెన్ వన్ చైల్డ్.
Hmm.
ఒకరు ఉండొచ్చు, ఇద్దరు ఉండొచ్చు, ముగ్గురు ఉండొచ్చు, నలుగురు ఉండొచ్చు, ఎంతమంది అయినా చైల్డ్స్ ఉండొచ్చు. బట్ ఒక చైల్డ్ కి మాత్రం మోర్ దాన్ వన్ పేరెంట్ ఉండకూడదు. సో దట్ ఈస్ ఇఫ్ దేర్ ఆర్ మోర్ దాన్ వన్ పేరెంట్స్ ఫర్ ఎ సింగిల్ చైల్డ్, it will become multiple inheritance. That is called as multiple inheritance. So we cannot Java does not support multiple inheritance, so we cannot have multiple superclasses for a single class, right? So with by following this condition, you can implement inheritance in any form in Java, right? So that will form a hybrid inheritance. So can you write a program for hybrid inheritance for tomorrow's class? Now
Okay, sir.
hybrid inheritance in
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow's class. Then we can go ahead with some other topics that are related to inheritance only. They'll come under inheritance only, but they are related to other topics that we have seen earlier. Because because of inheritance, some problems will be facing. So we need to address those problems related to constructors, related to methods, and all these things. We'll have some problems. So we need to address those problems. So those and apart from addressing those problems, we will come across a new concept called overriding.
Hmm. Okay, sir.
What is super keyword and its purpose, and final keyword also. Two keywords we are going to see: super keyword and final keyword.
Thank you.
The inheritance concept. It may take another 2 to 3 classes to complete this
Okay,
inheritance.
sir.
Fine. So tomorrow you will be writing hybrid inheritance program.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.